right. Hello.
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, why can't I hear anything? Shoot. Ugh,
No.
I don't know what just happened.
The
I think
music intro happened.
my earplugs went off. Hey, everybody. Sorry, I'm having a
Hey.
technical difficulty right now. I feel like Teddy Riley.
Can you hear me or no? You can't hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
My earbuds, they must have just connected. So try that again. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Girlchatsports. We are live.
Why are you so low?
What do you mean so low?
It's low.
What?
I can't hardly hear you, but it's cool. Keep going. Sorry. It's messing with
Me?
your flow. So it's a little low, but I can hear you.
Huh. I don't know.
Yeah. It's new technology. That's what we do. It's just the virtual world. But
I'm trying to say it's a little
happy West Coast Wednesday.
Right. But anyways, we're back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm exhausted. I just got done with a 5.5 mile run walk on the strip. You guys, look at you with your little girl chat sticker on your red cup. Okay.
Yeah, I'm branding everything today. Go ahead and put the Cash App up too, because you know that's what we do.
Know,
there
right?
We go. So you said you did a walk jog 5.5 miles.
You know, for anyone that's not here in Las Vegas, it's pretty much bare around here. The strip is completely closed. Nobody is around. And you can literally go up and down the strip without bumping in, without seeing anybody. Like, I literally probably saw 3 people that weren't cops that were kind of blocking certain entrances or exits or whatnot. So
okay.
that was kind of cool. You know.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before too. It's called the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. 13 miles. I will never do that again. But I liked running down a strip that was closed. All you had was the asphalt, and it made for a good run path. So
okay.
I don't think I could run on the concrete. I can never do sidewalk run. I always have to run on the asphalt.
Yeah, so it was good. I'm tired. My hair's still wet because I just jumped out the shower. So we're glad that everybody's here. Please share the podcast right now. We are live. So you can start a watch party. You can share with your friends.
Start it if you're going to do it, for sure.
Yeah, get on and subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll post it later. You can subscribe and get into our Girlchatsports group that's here on Facebook as well.
Yep.
We'll definitely be talking about the WNBA Draft that happened over the weekend or on Friday. We'll talk about the NFL Draft coming up tomorrow. It's finally here, a virtual NFL Draft. We'll also get into quarantine life because we're now on day 36 here in Las Vegas.
Jerome Bettis Day, the bus day.
Jerome Bettis Day. We'll also be talking about my Bulls and The Last Dance, because if you haven't seen it, I don't know what to tell you, but it's amazing.
Everybody saw it. Everybody saw it.
I literally am just waiting. I've been waiting for 3 to come because it's a Dennis Rodman episode, so I cannot wait for 3.
Well, I can't wait either. I can't wait to hear the story on Dennis Rodman, and I cannot wait just for the whole thing to actually end. Like, I just want to see the end result of all of this, because it's just chronologizing so much stuff that we've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into it. I mean, some stuff just took me out, just took me under. The whole Scottie Pippen thing, everything was just, yeah. It was good. It was really good. It's very entertaining.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's very entertaining.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, and I feel like every day is Friday, or every day is I don't know what day it is. I wouldn't have known it was Wednesday if I didn't know it was podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, the days run together, and the time does go by really fast. Before you look up, it's the afternoon and that kind of thing. So it's crazy how time is running. I mean, we're already coming to the end of the week, and this is just hump day. I feel like it was just Sunday. Like, literally, I feel like we just watched this documentary and can talk about it. Like, we just literally watched this, like, yesterday.
Like, really, it was yesterday.
Yeah, like it was yesterday, for real.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
It is.
So we've got a couple guests lined up for today. I'm trying, hopefully, I think we've got two. We've got one for sure right now. Again, if you guys ever wanted to join in on our podcast, you're welcome to email us at at girlchatsports@gmail.com. Send us an email. We can figure out what's a good day or time for you all. Shout out to Jose V. We'll get into him and Vegas Sports Daily. They had a great interview over the weekend with the only Las Vegas Aces draftee. Shout out to Arlington Lane out here.
Yeah, shout out to Arlington. I see that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sportsnista on my watch party. Hey, girl.
Okay, good.
Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah, we were texting back and forth about
440.
Well, we were talking about Typhoid Mary. Like, I hadn't heard Typhoid Mary in, I don't know, years.
Oh goodness gracious.
Decades. What in the Typhoid Mary is going on? So she and I were chatting about that. But you also I know we can talk a little UFC too. That 249 is probably going to happen in May.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to happen in May, right? Like, that's what they're pushing
May
for.
9th. So he said it's happening May 9th.
Yeah, but Amanda Nunes is not fighting.
No. And don't we all want to see that?
That's the fight we wanted to see. That's what I said. I thought she was 249. I never knew she had to be 250. That's why when we were talking about that, I was like, she was 249, but she's not going to fight. Her opponent is not going to fight. Her opponent's been like training in Florida and whatnot. And I think with everything that's going on down here with the pandemic, that she's declining on fighting because she'd have to quarantine herself. It'd just be a process, I guess, of getting in the fight. So yeah. I don't know.
Well, I think a couple things on that is, it's going to be hard to start training because especially some of the gyms, you don't know, unless they're going through there and disinfecting everything yourself, we're not sure how that's going to work.
Yeah, we're not. We don't know. That's the crazy thing about it. We really don't know what's going to happen or how it's going to work or if it's going to be on this mystery island or not, if it's going to be a Fire Fest type situation. We don't know. You know what I mean? We just don't know. So
that's Natalie in the chat.
Yeah.
Arlington, we're going to get to the last dance thoughts towards the second half of the show. So watch the whole show. Welcome to go get you a drink or whatever and come back. But we're going to discuss some last dance towards the end.
Right.
And Natalie needs some red cups with Girlchatsports. We got you. Hey.
We got you. I mean, this is like something we can totally sell.
Are on sale. I am making a post. I promise today.
Yeah, and I took a picture with my hat on today. I know it's so dark and darkens my eyes, but
no, it's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
So those will be up, and when you do order a hat, we'll also send you stickers as well as a magnet too that you can throw in your car, throw in your fridge, whatever. Anyways, let's get into it. We're gonna be joined by our girl Chrissi Sanders out in Ohio. I'm excited to have her on talk about a little bit the WNBA Draft. And get her on here to see how she's handling quarantine life. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got. Hey!
Handling like most of us. Hey!
Hey, what's up? How are you?
What's going on? What's going on, Chrissi? What's going on?
Everything and nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you look good. I mean,
yeah, I know you do. You look fresh faced. You look really good. How's quarantine like treating you?
It's been really good, actually, to be honest with you. Like, I'm almost on day 30 of this cleanse I've been doing, and I've been just, like, kind of getting my spiritual life right. Like, not religion, but, like, my actual spirit and, cut alcohol, cut all the extra shit.
Whoa.
Stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, just right now. Just right now. I'm not saying that forever, but I was like, I'm like, you got to have a little bit of clarity during this time so you can figure out, what you want to do with your life, with your business, all that kind of stuff. So I just was like, and I've been running, lifting, doing what I'm supposed to be doing for once. So not acting like a degenerate.
Yeah, I honestly, Chrissi, gave up meat for the
Me
whole
too.
month of March prior to the pandemic occurrence. Like
Did
I
you?
just was like, I was gonna give it up, try it out. I have a friend of mine that's vegan. We're gonna try it out, see what it does, and go from there. And I'm telling you, that was such a hard month for me because for one, we're in this pandemic, so we're shopping for stuff. It's got to be seafood related, veggie. Those are the prime things that's gone. People were just, scooping up stuff. But I made it work. I was able to get some things, and yeah, I'm back to meat now. By the way, that wasn't gonna stop me.
I'm still
I
meatless right
understand how I
now.
feel and everything. It was good, and I still feel good now. But I'm just saying, the meat's a thing. I'm sorry.
I miss
Maybe
ice.
nothing more with it.
You know what you guys need though?
What's that?
I heard you guys talking about your merch deal. You know what? Y'all need some Girl Chat Sports masks.
We have some.
I have. You know
what?
Go
ahead and
it's
show
in
it.
The car. It's in the car. I gotta grab it.
I need to go grab mine. mine.
We do have them, and actually,
shout out to Will Reed.
Yeah, shout out to Will Reed because one of his companies, they actually make them, and so it's basically you can logo anything on.
Right, and it's inexpensive.
And I think
like you just email the logo to something else, and it's totally inexpensive.
Is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's up, man?
Yeah. Maybe you need to have your company on a mask. Hey,
I'm not opposed
during quarantine.
Yeah, you totally could.
I should. I never even thought of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you totally could.
I'm so busy.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
No, I said it's just like you think about it. You gotta walk around with this thing over your face. Like, why not promote yourself or promote what you're
that part?
You know what I mean?
I'm kind of guilty, but I have not been wearing a mask out, guys.
Have you been going out a lot?
No, I haven't. But when I'm running and stuff like that, I don't wear a mask.
Yeah. I don't think exercising is not so stupid. It's more so like when you're within the 6 feet of somebody else or grocery shopping.
I saw cyclists wearing masks. I saw runners wearing masks. It's a thing of how you feel. If you're running right, you're breathing through your nose and that kind of thing, and then you exhale out of your mouth. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, I'm one of those that I would probably run without the mask, but if it's kind of this thing where I'm seeing a lot of people, I probably would wear a mask and just make it happen.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what did you think about the WNBA draft? Let's get into it. Did you
I mean, I thought it turned out really good. I thought initially when I first saw it happen, I didn't think, being totally transparent, I didn't think it was a great idea. And because I was like, listen, why would we just give, a lot of these seniors lost so much, right? They already lost their NCAA season. They lost all this stuff. Why are we taking away this opportunity for kids to, fulfill that dream, walk across the stage, all that kind of stuff? But I think from, a performance and an execution standpoint, it came out really good because it really allowed women's sports to take center stage. You saw that it was an average of 387,000 viewers. It was the second highest watched in the history of ESPN for it. It was it was up 123%. So it was definitely really good. It drove a lot of fan engagement, I think, which was really lacking from the women's game when you look at it, because you definitely need fan engagement. You need new fans and things like that. So I think that it really turned out pretty well.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I would totally agree with that. I think the execution, I think it also personalized the players a little bit more. Got you kind of in that look of their family, kind of the reactions of how the family feels. It just seemed a little bit more of a personal thing. Like you were in the living room too watching, like they were just in the living room watching. Like it was a shared experience. So I thought it was executed really well. And I thought with Kathy Engelbert presenting the jerseys and it's not loud, you can hear her clearly, precisely say welcome, and I just thought that was still an amazing moment for them.
Yeah, it really was. And I think that it was indicative of where we're kind of going, just in the world in general, because all people want to do is just sit around and look at their phone in general, right? So you see the level of investment that has been, in esports and stuff in the last couple of years. And it's to a degree, are people onto something? And from the cost perspective, the draft costs a lot of money to produce.
Oh yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And if I can get the double the engagement, double the advertisement, all that kind of stuff with cutting operational costs, will you continue? Maybe.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's one of those things.
It's so wild.
But the funny thing
What'd you
about this
say?
whole thing too, the whole funny thing about it was originally supposed to be on ESPN too, and because of this now pandemic that happened, they were able to be on a larger scale and a larger viewership. You're saying 387,000 people watched, and that was like the second highest rated thing to see. So that's historic within itself. And then,
well, I think it was even the first within the last 16 years. It was number one. It's like the highest seen draft like the last 16 years.
oh really? Okay, so
Yeah,
I
and
think
it's
it's the
second
second for
rated
the
in
entire
ESPN history. Yeah.
so even for that, I mean, for ESPN, no, that's still huge. Like that's like something that just was world stage that people didn't watch before they watch now, and it probably will grow fond of the games.
Exactly.
And I said it was probably like it's like the silver lining to quarantine. Like even though we're all stuck at
Absolutely.
home, at least it bumped them into having ESPN main coverage. I mean,
Yeah, 100%, 100% on that for sure.
and I enjoyed the draft. I feel like maybe they could have done a test run or two more. Like I what's her name? The one that was asking all the follow-up questions after she was in Utah. You know, anyway.
I know who you're talking about, the lady that was doing the post interview. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just felt like the transition from Kathy saying, "Hey, you drafted blah blah blah," and then there was like this pause, and then you got some questions that didn't seem very natural or fluid. So that was something that I didn't really care for. But I felt like the draft itself went well. There wasn't too many hiccups regarding like the internet issues.
Right.
No, we didn't have the hacking. We didn't have the hacking. You know, we didn't have the hacking. We didn't have any of that.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
You know.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And,
so,
I mean,
so what do you think as far as the draft picks go, the draft order? Because some things were a little out of order. We didn't expect that same lineup to go like the way it did. We expected Sabrina Ionescu, but after the third draft pick, it just changed. It just went to a whole. It flipped because even I can attest to our 33rd pick of who we got. You know, congratulations on all that. But we weren't necessarily looking for a power forward. We have one. But I think they were looking for shooting guards, and a lot of teams were trying to get certain players, and it just didn't fall that way. It was very interesting, especially with the Wings having the most picks possible. It just seemed like it kind of manipulated some of the picks.
Well, yeah, and I mean, and you've seen like in the last couple of years, though, there's been a lot of like player movement within the WNBA and with a lot of free agency that kind of like didn't used to be there, like you know what I mean. And then, you know, so I think to a degree, when you have a lot of player movement, and we've even seen in the men's game, like not just basketball but football in general too, like you know, you see all these superstars moving around, and I think a lot of times in trades, people throw draft picks in, and they're like it's an afterthought, like an IOU, you know what I mean? But then like when it comes down to it, you know, and then especially if you have it like a couple seasons out or something like that. But when it comes down to it, like you said, it can get a little tricky. You know, a lot of teams can use it to their advantage. It can save a little bit. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that usually wasn't before. And so I think that with the women's game, you're starting to see a lot of those kind of like factors come into it, which I think make it interesting for fans, you know. And like to your point, I think that I thought it was an interesting pick, Las Vegas's pick, but I mean, she does have a skilled 3-point shot, which is really good. And then when you think about it too, you know, Ty Young isn't returning. So like at that point, and she's a guard, not a guard, she's a forward with a similar size. And so with Ty Young not even being there, there's a level of defense that's missing, you know, in it. So if she can find some type of way to, you know, hone in on that 3-point shot, be consistent with that, and then also you know, be a little bit of a defensive help, I think she might be able to, you know, prove her value in the league.
Well, that's what I was looking at it as too. I was also looking at it as a defensive thing because I feel like as the Aces season had from last season, we didn't see enough of that. We did see a lot of defensive energy and intensity from Liz Cambage too, but again, she can turn into a hothead and that'd be detrimental. We have no second man to come out and kind of work that to a certain degree.
But shout out to Liz for re-signing this year.
Oh yes, she resigned. So shout out to Liz on that, because
she did today.
You know what I mean? But we had no answer for her if she got sat. So this would be, we'll see. I mean, she still got to try out. We don't know if they get her or not, but we don't know if they do keep her. If they do get her, do they keep her, or if she gets traded within? season start up. You
Well,
just
I
never
think
know.
once you get into like the third round of the draft, it's kind of like just pick somebody because you never know what
Right,
they're going to turn
right.
into.
Just
pick
Somebody
somebody.
could turn into be an all-star. You never know.
Yeah.
And you even have some people who don't even report the training camp. Like I remember a couple years ago, it was like some people, like you get to the third round of it, people don't even report the training camp. Like they never
Right.
play. Like they don't even play in practice. Like so it's a wild card. But I think as if that's what she wants to do, she wants to play. I think that's probably the route to get her the playing time is to be consistent on that 3 ball and be a little bit of help defensively.
Yeah, I would
Get
see
the
that.
foot in the door.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Chrissi, what do you think about where sports is headed? Like as far as WNBA season should be based. They should be in the gym right now practicing and getting ready for camp. That's usually like the beginning of March. So
Yeah.
we're coming around to I think the president had even mentioned till the 30th of April. We've heard about people opening up sooner. Some states have decided to go on their own path.
Yep.
But now
Georgia.
it sounds like
Yeah.
yeah, Georgia. I just can't.
Just go to the beach. Go to the beach during the pandemic.
They were the last one to close down, and then the first one to open. Like if that isn't just anyway.
But there's only certain parts of Florida too. I know Miami Beach is still on lock. They said they're not opening that.
They're not even going to open until like
yeah, they're not
doing
that. Yeah.
Yeah, but what it sounds like now they're looking at like maybe possibly June 5th is going to be more of like a opening time. I think another month. We don't know for sure. What do you think is going to happen with sports? Like, do you think? I know MLB has talked about having like certain cities to have every league divided up into. The NBA has talked about having maybe just Vegas and have a tournament style to finish the season. But do you think that WNBA will open up? Do you think they'll have a season this year? I mean.
Well, I think there's still a lot of uncertainty. I think one thing I really like about Kathy is how she has tried to lead and actually, be a little bit of stability and keep as much normalcy as possible, even with even choosing to carry on with the draft. Like, because we saw even with the NCAA, they were like, look, cancel the tournament, cancel it all. Like, and a lot of other like sports kind of went around about the same way. As like, I think that, to being totally transparent, I think that the biggest chief concern I have, like with trying to even play the games without fans, is like when it comes down from a travel perspective and even just people engaging in general, do we start a second wave of an outbreak even by having the players gathered together? Because to a degree, like as long as there's a gathering of basically 5, 10 or more, is still a problem. So like putting 12 players on the court, putting, a bunch of people to go play football against each other, go and putting people on a soccer field, that's a problem. So until we kind of figure out, how to stop creating mass outbreaks, I don't necessarily think it would be in the best interest of sports to continue, or we're going to continue having this start-stop scenario. Because even like just being in Ohio, like we were one of the first states to go on total lockdown, as well as Nevada. But the thing about the whole situation is that even if you go on lockdown for a month or 2 months, once somebody gets infected, they usually infect 3 to 5 more people. So here we go again. And they're predicting another outbreak in September. Like, really, you know what I mean? So
a second wave, a total second wave, and a total higher,
wave.
Yeah,
and
second wave.
What happened with China? Like, as soon as they started opening up bars again, it was a problem. So I think like we have to get to figure out. I think unfortunately, sports I feel like needs to be closed. With a lot of other things until we figure out the proper treatment.
I think roll it to the new year. I mean, as mad as I am with the Lakers and their performance and how great they've done, it's done. Like that's
I know. Yeah.
That's not even an option for us.
Yeah.
Because they were talking even with the NBA for each player to get tested every week. They haven't even mentioned that in WNBA for the players to get tested every week.
Exactly.
Now imagine you going through all that. For what? And you're playing in an empty arena. Playing against it. So it's almost like, yes, we selfishly would love to see this happen, but is it going to be practical enough for the players? Does it put them in another health risk because they're playing opposing teams? And then you don't know if you're carrying, you don't know if you're asymptomatic to it. You just don't know anything with it. So I feel like it's still risky even playing against opposite teams. And how convenient, not to get off the subject, but how convenient is it now that the NFL is announcing players that have it?
Right.
So if they're announcing that players have it now, because NBA, as soon as that announced, it shut the sports world down. So now with the NFL, does that mean it's going to shut down more towards the fall? Like, are we not going to just even see this happening fall season with the players that are coming out and disclosing their status of this?
You know,
go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, at least if the athletes in the sports were to pick up, we all know that they're able to get the test before anybody else. And unfortunately, at least if they're going to get them, like, give everybody one and just give everybody in the league one test to know who can play and who can't. Let's just start. Like, if there's no
what if one of the opposing teams tests positive in that first week of starting for it? Shuts down again, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you can't even
shut it down all over again. So if it shuts down all over again, what's the point of us even starting up again? Why give us that week of a hope and then it shuts down again because somebody tested positive?
I mean, and to think about it too, just like
God forbid, but I'm feeling that's going to be the case scenario. We're going to start this up again, and then it's going to just be another letdown.
And thinking about the prison systems, right, and how quickly the disease apparently spreads. I mean, it's easy to spread through a football team. It's easy to spread through a basketball team.
Absolutely.
And then if you get it, I mean, if you have symptoms, you definitely aren't running anywhere.
No.
Like, you know. So it's like at that point we have one team, like that one or two teams that's totally out of competition. Like it just doesn't even make sense, right?
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I mean, like I said, selfishly we want the sports to come back. We're being selfish at this point with wanting to see it, but it's just, is it realistic? Is it practical?
And I think it's
like I said, I hate for us to go back and say, oh, just go ahead.
It's about getting real about like the next, like, especially like I think about it from a branding and marketing standpoint all the time, like, you know, because that's what I do. I'm thinking to myself, all right, now is really a time for players, teams and stuff to start rethinking about how they are engaging with fans. You know what I mean? So like This is a real good time because it's like the normal revenue channels that you thought that you had have been kind of cut. So essentially like the ticket sales, you know, the merch sales, all that kind of stuff like that usually drives the engagement. And it's really going to have to go into a digital perspective. Like, I mean, you even see like a lot of players going on lives and things like that. There's going to have to be a lot more focus on digital partnerships, ways that you can engage with players from a virtual perspective. You know what I mean? Like you know, surprise, the whole Cameo thing. Cameo should be blowing up right now. So I think like to a degree, it's just like reimagining where the revenue's coming from. It's probably going to be the chief thing. Because
absolutely.
Even if you can't put fans in the seats, it doesn't even make sense to play anyway from a revenue perspective. I mean, even though you definitely know you can broadcast it and all the media deals and all that, but all I'm just saying is you're losing a major revenue stream just by not having that. So
and we know the WNBA needs all that. They need to be able to get their revenue up anyway.
Because they haven't made any money. I mean, even our team locally, from what I understand, has been in the red this whole time. They have not turned a profit yet. So you're absolutely right as far as going virtual. And dare I say, this might be the new normal going further or going futuristic as to how we look at sports or how sports is being viewed and the output of it.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, Chrissi, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you got going on? Feel free to take this time to talk about your business. I know about your podcast. It was an interesting one I listened to a little bit ago. But give us this is your platform.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think like one of the major things that I've been doing too is because I've basically, another thing that I've been doing in quarantine is I've been taking the time to really retool what I've been doing because being totally transparent, I think that the next opportunity to help athletes is not going to be from the traditional representation model that everybody's been doing, but it's going to be from a business partnership perspective, where you're basically working on the actual business of the player. And when I say that, I mean the player being the business itself. So you've seen a lot of things that was, done with LeBron and stuff like that. And I can't really say a lot because there is some legal stuff that I am changing. So but there is going to be, a major launch of something pretty interesting that's going to help players transition a little bit better after sports at the end of the year. So, stay tuned for that. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Well, shout out to Mike Dixon. He said, "You're very pretty and smart." I'm putting him on blast. And I quote, Chrissi Sanders, so pretty and smart. Shout out, Mike.
On the strip during my run today.
No lies.
Did you?
Yes, listen, we're running down the strip, and I'm like, oh my God. At first, I thought it was his brother, Marquise, because he had a hat on, and you could tell his hair's long. Mike don't wear his hair long. So I was like, oh, it's his brother. So I was like, and I told Spike, I was like, that's, oh boy, it's his brother that was taking pictures of us in the studio for our show on Vegas Sports Daily. And then we saw him again on the way back, and I was like, yeah, tell Mike hi. He goes, I am Mike. I'm like, what happened?
The whole time that was Mike Dixon? You played yourself.
Here's the deal.
Mike, I'm so sorry.
I never see Mike with a hat on.
People ain't recognize.
Listen, you guys know Mike Dixon always comes with a sharp haircut, right? So he always had a hat on, and he had a mask on too. So all I could see was his eyes, and I just assumed I saw hair in a hat that it was his brother.
Mike's out there running around looking like Elder Barge. Come on, Mike.
I know, right? Mike. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Chrissi, thank you so much. Where can people find you if they're on Twitter or Instagram or whatever?
You could just follow me on Twitter, Chrissi Sanders 8. And then my company Team Next Play at Team Next Play. So that's on Instagram, but because I'm not about to run 2 Twitter accounts, so I just wasn't built like that. I just wasn't.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for jumping on us.
Thank you, Chrissi. It was good talking to you.
We got to come back on again.
Stay safe.
All right.
Bye. See you. Bye.
See ya.
Hey.
So that was dope.
That was dope.
Mike said true story. I believe it. Mike, you probably running around. I'm telling you, he's out there. You said his hair grew out. You said he is Mike. He's out there running.
His hair was like, it was, men out here can't get no haircut. So he had a hat on, and he had one in the medical mask. So I'm thinking, like, I felt like it was his brother, but I didn't know. I just felt like, oh, okay. So, but I'm running. I'm exhausted. It's hot outside. And on the way back, of course, he's there again. And I was like,
what's he doing out there on the strip? What was he doing?
Well, I think you may be stay tuned to Vegas Sports Daily, our guys at Vegas Sports Daily, because I think there's going to be something they're going to talk about tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll have to get. I see our other guest has checked in.
Yes, come on, Stephen Senior, bring it.
I don't know if he's on visually though yet. Or maybe he's in the car. Before we get to Stephen, shout out to Don Allen who checked in. Your mayor, okay? He said that our mayor is a real a-hat.
He said what?
Well, Karen Goodman's her whole thing today.
And he said, what did he say though?
A real asshat.
Oh, yeah.
At your mayor, and I'm telling him that it's your mayor. I don't know.
I didn't vote for her, so I don't know. I mean, it is the mayor of Las Vegas, but she's a mascot. We already knew this what it was. I mean, if you didn't know who she was, and if you've never been to an event where she's publicly spoken, this is no new verbatim, okay? And if you're wise and slick to see through that and know that she's just a mascot of photo ops for the city, take it as that. That's all we have for her. That's our face of Vegas. It's like when we for example, when Nordstrom opened up, Mayor Goodman was there. Shout out to him. And the Vegas Showgirls, and you have Mr. Wayne Newton, and it's the Vegas thing, Should we be taking that serious to what she said? It's scary.
It's scary. It's just terrible, and she's a real piece of work. So
yeah, it's scary though. It's scary because I feel like a lot of that can be problematic of what you say, and that just sets us back even more. Especially if you go on not knowing a plan. You know what I mean? Right. So, yeah. But anyway, I digress. She talked about Typhoid Mary, honey. I ain't heard Typhoid and Legionnaires.
I don't know where's Stephen.
That's all I can say. Typhoid Mary. That's my new word.
Where's Stephen at?
D, I see your comments. That's fine.
It said his device.
Donnell, it's not unbelievable. Stop it. I hate that y'all be cheering these folks and thinking that they really be. No. This is who it's been. Come on. Y'all know this. Don't act surprised. It is sad, but don't act surprised. We know what it is. Hey, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sabrina, my girl in St. Louis.
I think we may have him back. Let's see. Oh,
okay. There he is.
Hey, what's up? What's happening? How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. I'm all right. For Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I'm good.
I just saw your message.
What's up with y'all?
This, and I'm like, yes, just click that.
You in the car? Where you headed? It's quarantine time, sir. What you doing?
Yeah, I'm in my car. That's I didn't know because I left my earphones at home. I was running errands late, and I left my earphones. But I think y'all can go.
I mean, we can wait till you get to the house too, if you want. I mean, unless the car is your private sanctuary.
No, y'all. No, I can't drive and be on the air, Mo.
Oh,
that's
you're literally like out.
Driving,
I thought you like pulled up to your house and drive away because you had told me that you left your headphones. I figured you was home by now. Not trying to clock you like that.
No.
Time. God. No, I'm not trying to clock nobody. You know that. But anyway, we were gonna get into the NFL draft, but did we lose him?
Well, Metro
PCS,
y'all. Metro PCS.
Apparently, he got scared because I threw out there that I was gonna clock him. I'm not clocking him. I just knew from the time that he said he left his headphones at work, I assumed he was headed home and he was already home.
I mean, we don't gotta push it if your phone ain't gonna make it happen. Hello?
He might come back to us. There he is. I love it. There he is.
I don't know what's going on.
Hello? There we go.
You know what? First of all, I need people to have. I had this conversation just a few hours earlier about Verizon and how dope Verizon is.
What happened? What you laughing at? What happened?
Steven, can you hear us? You doing some Teddy Riley stuff right now? Can you hear us?
You really on some Teddy Riley stuff.
He can't hear us. Can you hear us? Hopefully he can hear us. So anyway, we're gonna talk about the draft. If he cricket. Listen, get Verizon, you guys. I know it's more money. I know it's a tad bit more. But it's worth it. I don't have these kind of complications. We're sitting in our homes like Babyface, prepared. You know what I'm saying? Prepared. We about this life. We already know what our service can do. Oh, he's coming back.
I don't know.
Sprint merge with T-Mobile. Pray that it works out.
Yeah, that's the problem. Sprint T-Mobile merge.
You got us. You got us, sir. You got us. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Okay. If I'm messing y'all up, just take me up. But okay.
No. I don't want.
Mo. Hey. Last time I tuned in, Mo was proclaiming herself to look a little rough. Now she got some makeup on and lipstick and everything.
And you thought my hair was a hat, sir.
Hey.
For the natural community, that's a very offensive remark. I'm just letting you know.
Hey, it's the internet. I didn't know.
Really? Really?
My bad. I couldn't see the screens was small, Mo. I couldn't see.
That's why a lot of women, I'm not gonna get into this soliloquy about the women in natural hair movement and stuff. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna let it go.
Please.
I will accept your explanation. I will not take it as an excuse. I'll accept the explanation and we'll just move on amicably. Yeah. So I have a scarf on today. I twisted my hair. My hair got hot on me. Let's get into it. Try to save a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna brought you too hard because you did bless us with your Cash App and donated, and I appreciate it. So I'm not that's why I let it go. I'm not gonna let it get to the quarantine.
Did you buy
very thin. Huh?
I gave towards a scrunch. I gave towards a scrunchie, and I gave towards new earphones.
Yes, and my headphones. Shout out to Apple because my headphones still haven't shown up yet. But we're gonna be, they got to do something about that. But anyway, we're ready to have you on. We want to talk about the draft, and we're going to talk about a little bit about the Last Dance. We'll probably talk a lot about that, but we wanted to just talk about this NFL draft that starts Thursday.
The Last Dance.
Oh, the Last Dance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not
Yeah.
the Last Dance.
Now we know where
my
you
bad.
were. Okay, now we know where you've been at.
No. Those are closed and I don't go. So yeah, I don't do that. But okay. I was like, wait a minute. That was gonna be an interesting topic, but yeah.
So what are you thinking as far as this Thursday with the draft and everything? What are you looking at?
Well, you know what? Last thing I heard, my team is the 49ers. Bang bang. And I heard last day was trying to trade out of the 13th spot, which means either our guy is going to be taken and they knew it, or they're, I guess they're just trying to get more draft picks. But I'm hoping we go for a wide receiver, but it don't look like that. It seems like we've tagged a cornerback. Seems like we tagged a cornerback out of Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, whatever. I kind of hate watching that stuff because your team never does what you would hope they do. They never do. They never do, and they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. I hate it. I haven't. You know what's amazing? I haven't watched a NFL draft since we drafted Alex Smith because I was so upset with that draft pick. And I haven't watched one since. I was so upset.
Wow.
Well, I I've watched them the last handful of years since I've becoming more into football, of course, and I'll continue to watch them. I watch them even on Saturday when it's rounds 3 through 7. Because here's also the reason why. Pete and John, my guys with Seattle, they be doing some work. Like they turn 2 picks into 20, and before you know it, we've got some guys that are power and that drop to the 4th and 5th round.
Yes.
So I'm excited to see what happens this year. I'm sure we haven't kept a first round pick that we were assigned for I don't know how many years. Last year we had Rashard Penny, I think, and that one was one that we actually got in another deal. That pick was, but listen.
Well, and I don't know what we're looking at. They're talking about looking at some quarterbacks. Gruden still wants another quarterback. I think we need to be shopping with wide receivers. If they do, they're still looking. I mean, the fact that Raiders are even trying to reach out to a Jalen Hurts is fathoming to me. I find it's very interesting that they're reaching out. They're reaching out for another kid, a couple of people that are on the quarterback hunt. But I don't know if we'll get to that part being number 9. I think if anything, we need to try to get to CD Lamb as quick as possible. If we can get that Jerry Judy, that would be great for wide receiver, but we're not going to get him.
Judy.
Yeah, Judy. We're not going to get him. I think CD Lamb fits our system a little bit better, and hopefully they can go for that or try to trade up to get him or trade down. But the 9th pick is.
And what's the Raiders pick?
Huh?
Would the Raiders pick 9th?
Yeah, we're 9th and 12th.
Okay, I saw the mock and CeeDee Lamb was set to go to the Cardinals before that.
I know they were looking at him too, but I don't know. That's why I said it's going to be interesting to see.
Tell you something, if they get CeeDee Lamb, if the Cardinals get CeeDee Lamb with what they have, they picked up DeAndre Hopkins.
I know they're going to be a problem.
They're going to be a real.
They're going to be at the bottom of the NFC West for a little while, so it's time for them to get back. I think the Rams are slipping down, and it looks like it's going to be another.
Yeah. It's going to be definitely a huge problem, though.
Yeah. They get Lamb, it's going to be a problem.
It is.
What do you think about What do you think about?
Did y'all watch them?
Well, I wanted to ask you your thoughts on the.
Well, go ahead.
with the draft being virtual, because we all know it was supposed to be here in Las Vegas. It was supposed to take part, the Bellagio fountains, the Link Promenade, Caesars, everybody had their hand in the pot. It was going to be a big showcase. We're now just sticking to virtual drafting. It sounded like on Monday they already had an issue with some of the technology just with the first round of the Bengals pick. So what do you expect from this draft? Do you foresee there being some bigger issues with the technology? Do you think there's going to be some Teddy Riley issues? Do you feel like there's going to be anybody hacking into this thing?
Teddy Riley going for, regardless to how many hits he got, he gonna be known for the next few years for all his problems. He was going up against a heavyweight, and that wasn't his division. He got.
It was not his division. Thank you, Stephen. That's not his division. It was not his division. His division, if it wasn't such a scumbag, would be R. Kelly. That's his division. So everybody that went to that either was gonna go for a New Jack thing, they wanted upbeat tempos, or they wanted some slow jams. But I'm sorry, if you're doing hits for hits, Babyface hands down has all the hits globally. Oh,
the grab bag is too deep.
I'm not talking about within the R&B community or hip hop community, because that's more Teddy Riley's thing. Like, you hear Keith Sweat, but you don't hear him as a global icon like you would a Tevin Campbell putting out stuff, or anything of this other Tony Braxton or Whitney Houston. I mean, he had so much in his bag. He didn't even pull the John B bag out yet.
Man,
exactly.
He didn't even pull the John B bag.
Exactly.
A done deal.
It was done when he did that Tevin Campbell, Karen White, then the two occasions. It was done after that, honey. I
told people, I said, remember, he was on the deal with two occasions.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yes.
You pulled that bag out. You didn't pull the After 7 bag out yet either. You did. You have bangers, and you didn't pull out the TLC bag. You didn't pull out none of that stuff.
He was up
He did Red Light Special. He did that one, but he didn't do the rest of them. And that's why I say that whole match should have been Teddy Riley against R. Kelly, or seeing Babyface against Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yeah, no, that's a heavyweight battle.
Because they got that whole Janet Jackson bag, and you go to Control and Rhythm Nation, it's a whole, it's about tit for tat.
SOS band too.
Artists. We're talking about the global scale, and Babyface's level is more global than Teddy Riley's is.
Yeah.
But either way,
roll out number one.
Dismiss it.
Well, no, one of the things I thought of, like I told Noah when we were listening to it, I was like, I feel like the Teddy Riley group, even though that's still our age, is kind of like that under 40 group that they kind of felt like they're in the club, Teddy Riley songs going on, whereas a lot of 40 and up were really feeling on Baby. I get the younger kids know Baby too, but Babyface's songs, some of those are so eternal, like they will be around.
It just reached a larger mass audience, and it's more of a universal translation than you would a Teddy Riley. The cuts.
But when he brought out the guitars out,
the man is a talented writer and musician. I mean, I don't think Babyface is the best singer, but he can write songs and he can carry a note. That's pretty much as far as it goes with him. But like I said, he's so intersectional globally that you've got other nationalities knowing exactly who Babyface is and can name hits for hits. Yes. When you get to Teddy Riley, it's a certain niche. It's that R&B community. It's that, we know a few things. He
didn't even drop the Madonna joint.
He what?
He didn't even get to the Madonna joint. He didn't even get to the Madonna joint. Take a bow.
Shout out to Cicero. Cicero, like, he ain't got to pull Madonna. I said, yes, he does. If he pulls out Secret and all those other songs he produced on her album, everybody's going to know what it is. That's case closed.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I mean, these verses are very entertaining. A lot of them are not as evenly matched as they should be. I feel like the best one that had a good match was Sean Garrett and Dream and RZA and DJ Premier, which even to me, Premier is that guy. That was a hard one too. I probably wouldn't have put him with Premier. I probably would have done him a little lower on that.
Exactly.
Premier's a legend. Like, I could go on this. I mean, we just went from girl chat to music now.
We went into a complete other.
Yeah, but I mean, I could go on and on about some of the music things. I'm a big music person. I love music. I listen to it all, and I just know the levels of people's talents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's bring it back real quick.
Go for it.
The draft.
Okay.
The virtual draft.
You know what? I think the greatest problem is going to come when they want to do trades. I think it's going to be probably hilarious for us watching, because like that was a great reference to say it's going to be like Teddy Riley, because it's going to be a lot of they had, like you said, they had glitches on the mock, and I think the biggest problem is going to come with them trying to pull off drafts. But it's not like the NBA how you have to have 4 or 5 teams involved. They just need one team. You know, most NFL drafts is just you dealing with one team to move back or move up. You know, so it's more simple than the NBA draft. But I think they're still going to have some problems. And the NBA draft is in June as well, so they may have to look at this model that the NFL has and see how they can input it and probably work with it and see all the glitches that they have, because they may be stuck doing the same thing in June for the NBA draft.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the thing of it is when they do these drafts, like WNBA drafted, they streamed on TV, but then they streamed on the social medias too. And they was even having little, like all of that. So when you look at NFL, like you said, and it streams on all these different virtual platforms, it's going to be on Twitch, it's going to be on TikTok, it's going to be all this live stuff. You don't know what to expect as far as glitch concerns go. And you pray that it's not as detrimental, but you may miss a few, because that's probably what they're going to do. They're going to speed up probably mid-range picks and just list them and probably not go through the entire process if the glitches do happen.
It sounds like they're actually like they kind of have like that philosophy, like they're not going to jump over somebody else if there is a glitch. They're going to give them the time to still fix it or make that pick. They're not going to just jump them because their time ran out and for some reason there was a glitch and they couldn't get their pick in. So,
well, you know, before they
can say that, but they can't guarantee that. You know what I mean? But that's a good notion to have. I don't know if that's guaranteed though that will happen.
Allegedly, they're supposed to give them 10 minutes. Allegedly, they're supposed to give him 10 minutes this draft instead of the normal 5 that they have on the clock, in order to compensate for glitches or anything like that. But they're so secretive, you know. Right. That's the thing. They're so secretive, and I understand you don't want anybody to know what you're doing, so nobody takes your guy and all that. But you know, I don't understand why these GMs and the guys were complaining, because if you don't have your draft board by, I guess, February, you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing, because you should already know by April who you want to draft, or May, early May, who you want to draft. You should already know. You know, I mean, February and March, like early March, you should already know who you want to draft. Your draft board should already be ready.
I mean, I know that you already had your eyes on players, and you probably watched a lot of players play prior to the quarantine thing, but the quarantine messed up a lot of pro days, people being able to get out there and at least be able to get out.
So all they can do is look at tape or whatever. They can go off from the past.
Some of them were going to field and they had to find, you know, people, I expect the terminology, but they have to find someone that actually is licensed, not licensed, but is an authority in being able to time them and judge them for their videos to send to all these different teams. Like,
well, we have an advantage with that for the Raiders. We got that with Mike Mayock.
Yeah,
I'm drafts before, and he's set. He didn't mention that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm really interested in what happens with Tua Tagovailoa from Alabama and how that works out, because this actually both hurts and helps him in a sense of not being able to be looked at by doctors. That's what helps him, and it hurts him at the same time, because they don't know. Because if you pass on him, and the dude turns out to be, as I think, he's going to be a great pro quarterback, you had a chance to get him and you passed. Or, you know, the flip side is you take him with your, like if the Dolphins take him or if the Lions take him and he turns out not to remain healthy, then you know, you kind of wasted a draft pick. But the quarterback is the toughest position to draft for.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's going to be a quarterback draft. That's why I'm very curious to see how this is going to pan out with all of these top-notch players that you have.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What do you think about the trade with? What do you think about the trade?
About that with our man Gronk?
Okay. Yes.
The White Tiger that was on. What's the singing show? The Masked Singer? Our White Tiger?
Yeah.
He's now going to be a
Yeah.
Buccaneer. So he went from a patriotic retiree to a white tiger to now a Buccaneer.
that baffles me because
that's basically what we're talking. And so now you're looking at the tight end spot. So what's going to happen to OJ?
exactly.
Is OJ going
I
to
would
go
take OJ.
to New
I would
England?
take OJ Howard. I would take OJ Howard over Gronkowski any day of the week. I don't care who's quarterback, and he's big, he's strong, and fast. He's the prototype to Kittle out of Frisco, and Metcalf himself, the same type of thing, big and fast. I don't know.
But Tom Brady is not going to want OJ. You know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's a Brady
what,
call. So if OJ Brown decides to leave, that would be great poetic justice for him to go to New England. For them to try to gag him, on a trade. If
yeah. I was just shocked at the fact that you were so hurt physically that you needed to retire, but now you're all of a sudden better a year later that you want to come out and play.
Oh, and on his IG, he's killing it on his fitness. On his IG, he's going in beast mode. Like you're seeing a Gronk that I've never seen. Like what are we proving here? You got a message from Tom.
Partying not too long ago. He was chugging beers and doing whatever. He's not on the TV 12 method, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's felt
I'm
and tight.
sure he saw boy going to Florida and was like, well, that would be a valid place to have another year at,
Yeah. For somebody that claimed they don't drink and this and that, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He's always claimed he never drank alcohol, whatever.
But we'll see what the distraction brings for him in Florida and playing. Because that's going to be interesting to watch too.
Frisco plays them in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We got them before we going to beat up on Dallas. We got them.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm with that. I mean,
I'm with that too. Everybody get rid of those Cowboys. I'm a happy person.
All right, so let's move quickly over to The Last Dance because we're going to run out of time pretty soon, but I want to make sure we kind of just address a little bit. This is what I've been waiting for. And thanks, like I said, it's probably one of those silver lining things. Had it not been for quarantine, we'd be waiting until June to see this. But because quarantine happened, ESPN, everybody realizes it's the prime time to get it out there. And bam, we've now seen the first 2 episodes of Last Dance covering the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. You know what? I read this book called, I have 2 books, Rare Air and More Rare Air, and they were written by the guy that's actually in the 2nd episode in the, I forget his name, I'm sorry, but he has a light blue button down. He wrote both books, and really most of those first 2 shows, in my opinion, was covered in the books that I read. But playing with Jordan, when people beat and the whole thing, people understand what playing with Jordan is. When somebody says, like, if we all on a team and Melissa's a star, they're not gonna say we beat Stephen Senior now. They're gonna say we beat Melissa now because she is the GOAT, she is the alpha, she is the star, she is the TV draw, and most of his competitiveness and that drive and practice that they had that he was getting on people is because they say that we didn't beat Stephen Senior and Monisha, we beat Melissa, even if she wasn't playing, even if she had a bad game, they didn't care. We needed to beat Mike, because of the torture that he put on different squads. He put on Indiana, who could probably have a title had he not came back, and Karl Malone and the Jazz, they probably would have a title, but they ran up against Mike. It was amazing watching, and I think it's going to get even. I thought the first 2 shows might have been even kind of weak because they just focused really on Jordan. The whole Pippen thing was what it was. That was kind of heartbreaking to watch with the whole Pippen thing in
that
the
kind of took
contract.
me out. That really kind of surprised me.
Yeah, but you know what?
Chicago were saying that was the norm, and that was pretty much what it was as far as at that time. That was kind of what his structure looked like. Because again, Jordan didn't get his money early on either. You know, he didn't get it until that last year. It was like 33 million compensated. But you got to understand, even with Scottie Pippen going
nobody was signing 7-year deals back then. Like that's what was
exactly.
Well, that's the thing. And even if he was smart enough to think within the 4 years and see what Rodman and those were making, that he could have said, let me go back and renegotiate. But that's a contract. It's locked in. That's it. There's no negotiation. That's pretty much what it is, unfortunately. But it's the same.
And he also didn't have any leverage. Michael Jordan was the only one with the leverage. And that's how Phil Jackson was allowed to stay, because Michael wielded his leverage with them for Phil Jackson. Now, could he have spoke up for Pippen to get his money? Probably could have, but Pippen signed a bad deal. But he also said why he took the deal. And I got no problem with it. But if you look up career salaries, Pippen made more than Jordan in basketball.
Oh, yeah, his postseason.
Scottie made over $100 million. Michael made,
especially when he was with Portland Trailblazers. He was averaging 14 in the season. Yeah, so he was getting 14
exactly.
million for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
He's not the biggest blunder to make a
So,
money mistake. My brother mentioned this, and he's right, because I had looked into it when he was talking about Magic Johnson when he was 19 years old, and how Converse had invited him for the endorsement deal. And he knew that Converse was a big deal because, you know, Dr. J and all of them were Converse. But Nike came to him with a stock option, buy Nike stock. He didn't know what stocks were. So he took the deal with Converse, Magic Johnson.
Wow.
Instead of taking the early stock with Nike, when Nike was up and
I think he still did okay, though.
Huh?
Yeah, but, you know.
I still think Magic did okay, though.
I don't know. That Nike stock is real. Do you know that?
Magic.
How many?
Yeah, exactly. Magic did okay.
He did do okay, but he could have done more. He could have had that money. He could have had
that dance, people. Last dance. Okay, we're not doing the Lakers right now, Mo. Last dance.
I didn't say the Lakers. Huh? Well, I just was citing another issue with the money thing as far as Scottie. I mean, we're already an hour. We're already over the hour. We might as well just keep it rolling. We're already out. I mean, he said everything that, you know, pretty much we were all saying. I mean, we're not immediate on this. This has been like a regurgitated type talk. But what's your take on it being a Bulls fan, Melissa? Like, since you want to keep this going, because we know our take. What do you feel as far as so far the documentary?
I love it. What I love most is I've seen some people that are younger than us that have been like, okay, like I get it. Like I get what people have talked about. And I think only seeing 2 episodes, it hasn't given us the full spectrum, but it gave us enough to be like, ooh. And then the trailer came out, or the little teaser with the Rodman episode next week. I mean, the Rodman episode, that's all the tea and popcorn right there.
I think Rodman's pretty transparent. I think what we're going to see is the more interworkings within the locker room that we don't see.
He wasn't transparent in the fact that he had his own life, but we don't know how it really messed with the team from the back.
That's what I'm saying. The interpersonal workings within the locker room and within the team. He was transparent, putting on that wedding dress and doing all the outrageous stuff as far as that.
Like him going to Phil and asking for 2 days to go on vacation because Scotty's back. I'm Vegas. Like,
right.
That Vegas trip for him. Isn't this where he married Carmen Electra? I don't remember. But
Yep.
I mean, I'm excited for that. Here's the one thing that I wanted to mention on the show, because me having been from Seattle, of course the Sonics have been my team. Of course the Bulls have been my number 1 team. The one thing I'm almost embarrassed to not know, I didn't realize Scottie got drafted by Seattle and then traded to Chicago. I just assumed back then I wasn't paying attention to drafts. I was watching my team. I just knew that Pippen came along with the Bulls when the season started.
But he got to put the uni on, so it really doesn't.
Right, but I had he put the hat on. He got drafted, but I'm like, I had just never known.
So he's still a
Bull. It was that. It was just crazy to me. My mom was like, "You didn't know that?" And I was like, "Mom, you
can actually watch the video. you can actually watch the video where they were interviewing Scotty, and one of the reporters told him, "Hey, I think you just got traded to the Bulls."
Yeah.
And
Wow.
he was like, "Really?" And he told him, and then he swapped hats. Then he swapped hats with Odin Polynese, and I think the Bulls made out like fat cats on that trade, like fat cats. And you know what? And I want to give a shout out to Jerry Krause in the sense that, you know, he opened his mouth a few times and said some really bad things that he forever will be associated with him, and why they showed him so much disrespect. My heart went out to him how they was talking to him. But you know, you kind of create your own enemy when you open your mouth and you say the things that he was saying. But the dude, I thought, was a very decent GM for how he saw Scotty. He got Scotty. Then he later on drafted Horace Grant.
Right.
And how he put that team together. I think he deserved more credit than a lot of the blame, because to me, all the blame belongs to Reinsdorf. I was actually a Bulls fan. I was a Bulls fan.
We were doing so good.
That freeze. We should freeze when he comes back.
My favorite Rebel of all time.
Say that again.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite Rebels. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was a Bulls fan before Michael got there, because they had Reggie Theus, who was a Rebel, and my favorite Rebel of all time. They had Reggie Theus and Sidney Green from UNLV, and I was a Bulls fan before Michael got there.
Shout out to Rocky Theus,
and of course,
dad. Yep, he was a Bull.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Well, it's Dr. Arlen's beautiful community. I mean, here's the deal. I feel like when we were watching this episode, Jerry Krause put that team together well. And he had an eye for talent, like Arlington said. But I think what happened was towards when the team started getting bigger than him, he had that small man complex. Like, he had that short little man complex where now the limelight's not with him no more. He doesn't have, the team's gotten bigger than he is. And so now it was time for him, and that's when the whole, that's when everything kind of got short, and people started really, not doing so well. And good point, but the Charles Oakley trade was major. I had forgotten.
Yeah, the Charles Oakley thing was crazy.
Bulls back then. That's major. Because when you think of Charles Oakley, all you think of is Bulls. Just like how he posted Jerome Bettis today. I only think of Jerome Bettis as a Steeler. I don't think of him as a Ram. So
yeah,
it's just kind of crazy, seeing Charles Oakley in the Bulls uniform. I was like, oh, because growing up in like the late 90s.
And slapping the heck out of Pippen on some low-key haze, man. What kind of hazing was that?
Crazy. Yeah. It was major. But Stephen, hey, we appreciate you coming on. We gotta get you back when we're back in the studio, when things are crazy and all nice and lovely again. I think your volume went out, but
no, you heard us. Thank you so much, Stephen. Appreciate it.
Can you hear him? I can't hear him.
You're dope. I don't know. Maybe.
All right, Stephen.
He was. Stephen, thank you so much. Charles Oakley was MJ's bodyguard. Charles Oakley could be a bodyguard for a lot of people, Arlington, for sure.
Man, Charles Oakley was a beast. And that's the thing, is that he was a beast for the Knicks, man. He was crazy with them. And it was hard for me to see it as a Bulls fan. But anyways, any last things that we wanted to chat about before? I'm excited for it to see.
You were talking about Greg Anthony's son going into G League. I seem to be the trending thing for Anthony. But he's from University of North Carolina. So he's college going, forgetting the draft and going. But you got these high schoolers out there that's totally skipping college, going straight into NBA G League with some money in between. That's so dope.
I had mentioned before is that what I really hope for is that there's people within their organization that are going to help them. These are high school kids coming out with money. Like, they don't have the people around them that you would have in college with your advisors, all those people that really care about you as well as what you're doing for their school, either boosters, whatever. Now you're on your own.
Money towards your investment. When do you take care of your investment?
I mean, at this point, they want to win. investing on how well these kids are doing with their money, what they're doing with it. They want to make sure they're not getting in trouble.
No, I mean, as far as those pieces of those players being an investment for them as far as winning goes and bringing revenue in, wouldn't you want to take care of those kind of talented kids?
Well, you're taking care of them and making sure they come in. You want them to come in and be practicing and playing and winning for you. You're not really caring if they're buying a fat chain or a new car. I mean,
no, I get all that.
I hope they do.
Yeah, I get all that. No, So the Bucks will have 2 tight ends, Evans and Gronk. Did we just get an announcement that I don't know nothing about?
What?
Ken Golar, shout out to Ken. He just texted me. He said, so Buccaneers are going to get 2 tight ends, Evans and Gronk. And I'm like, who?
Evans the wide receiver. So Jay Howard is the tight end. So.
Exactly. So I was like, who's Evans? Did you hear when I asked, like, who's he talking about?
No, that's funny.
He means OJ Brown. I know that's what he means. OJ Brown's not going to be able to say.
So the draft is tomorrow on ESPN. I think it starts at 5:00 for the first round is Thursday. Friday is the second round. Saturday is the third. The 7th round.
Yeah, shout out to Muffet, Arlington. You're right. Muffet McGraw for Notre Dame is retiring. Muffet is a very outspoken coach in women's basketball. She has paved ways. She is our girl power moment. I will shout her out real quick because Muffet, she deserves that. And a Godspeed retirement for her. It's long overdue. She hung in there as long as she could. She's been a great inspiration, and she probably could still continue to further coach. It's just, if you've got someone in mind specifically that can take the reins of your model, go on, live your life, girl.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
You know what? One thing I like, I would love to see where some of these people are from.
Yeah, that's dope.
But there was this one girl, a little girl and her brother, and they were like, Mom asked if we wanted presents under the tree or to come see Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and Dennis Rodman.
Oh, she said that's, I remember that.
That was so cute. I felt that in my soul.
I felt that when my girlfriend years ago, my best friend, she got either the option to go to a Michael Jackson concert or a Cabbage Patch Doll. That's when the Cabbage Patch Dolls were a big craze. So I get that whole trying to go see Michael Jordan. That's a huge thing. In Chicago, I mean, they knew.
What's going on here?
I don't know. You're frozen. But you're cute frozen. I don't know. Just a frozen picture of Mel.
Hello?
Why are you frozen?
I'm not, but you were earlier.
I was. You were frozen.
I don't know. Anyways.
I got you frozen still posed up like.
No,
Yes.
I don't know.
And then you said I was frozen.
Yeah, that's so funny. Now they can't hear us. Well, anyways, maybe that's our time to leave. I'm not sure what's going on right now. But that's funny.
So we have the Girl Chat Sports hats. If you guys can hear me, we're selling our hats. Check it out.
I'm posting them tonight, y'all.
Yes.
And
if you're
so
interested, just send us through the Girl Chat Sports.
We're gonna get you some swag with some stickers and magnets and stuff. Make sure you follow Girl Chat Sports on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you check us out. Subscribe on YouTube. You can rewatch this. Of course, we're also on like iHeart, Podomatic, Spotify.
All the good streaming services. We are
Your
on
shirt
there.
looks good too, but I like it.
We're on there. Check us out.
Did you see your shirt?
Yes, and I got my Girl Chat Sports t-shirt representing. This is a new red cup by Girl Chat Sports. If you guys are interested,
Arlington says he needs a cup.
It's gonna come with the red lipstick stain embedded in it. How's that work out for you and yours?
Oh, you guys, we've had fun. I'm excited for next week to go over The Last Dance, episodes 3 and 4, talk about what happened to the NFL draft, see where our teams came out with. I'm excited for the Seahawks this year. I'm sure you're excited for your Raiders this year. Allegiant Stadium got lit up and the lights were on finally. It was beautiful to see. I'm excited for your team.
I like it a lot. I thought it was a gorgeous sight. Some fans would disagree. Shout out to Gina because she hated on it, but I get it. You're a Broncos fan, so that makes sense.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, the haters are gonna hate, but the Allegiant Stadium is amazing. And
I just can't wait to see the game. I don't care if it's us. I don't care if I'm playing in there and if my team's playing there. I'm just excited to go. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I want to see my team. that's what I'm excited about. Yes, because it's our home base. So I definitely want to see our team, but I want to see what it looks like inside. I want to see our concessions. I want to see what they've done as far as the state of the art mechanisms for it to be an elite stadium and what it can do. So yes, very excited.
All right. Well, thank you all. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate
guys.
you. Make sure you share it. Feel free to end it and share along. And we will be back next week. And look out for the post for the hat later. And
then if y'all want the shirts, let us know too. We may be able to make that happen.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Guys, have a good night. Peace out.